When's the first powered flight going to be?
The first powered flight, you know, we're in test flight right now. The vehicles are built. We have done something like 70 flights of the mothership and something like 15 free flights of the spaceship, including a couple now where we've feathered up the wings, which is a special technique that we use in our aircraft, where we basically have realized that sometimes in space travel it's convenient to have wings and sometimes it's convenient to be more like a capsule. So we decided let's have both and build wings that we can fold up when we don't want them and fold back down when we do want them. We've now tested that out successfully. We've been testing the rocket motor in parallel on the ground to make sure that we're getting the quality of burns and the durations of burns that we're liking, and that program is coming along very well. So the next big step is, when do we integrate the two? When do we put the rocket into the vehicle and do a quick fire? And I should say that, you know, the first time we do that, we won't go to space. We'll test it out and burn for just a few seconds, make sure that the plumbing's hooked up, and make sure that the vehicle behaves how we think it will. And then it'll be sort of a steady progression. So it's difficult to say when that's going to happen. Safety is our North Star at the organization. We recognize that if we have the failure rates that historically have been observed in this industry, that won't be a path to success for us. We've got to do a heck of a lot better than it has been done before. And as a little bit of added incentive, we all know that we're flying our founder and his family on our first commercial flight. So we really have been incentivized not to rush it, to do it properly, to do it however it needs to get done. So we'll see. It will happen. It'll happen pretty soon, but it's difficult to put an exact date on it.
It's an engineering consideration.
It's an engineering consideration, exactly. We don't want to be driven by a false deadline, you know. And I think we're fortunate in that we have a corporate structure and we have a founder that have bought into this for the long term, and they're not telling us, you know, fly by December 1 or you're out. We don't have that kind of pressure that you know, we've seen, unfortunately, this industry can drive people into making some engineering compromises that they might not have made. We're in a hurry. We want to fly. We individually want to go. Our customers are eager to go. Our founders are eager to go. But we recognize that we have to make safety first.
How long have you been with the company now?
I joined Virgin Galactic in late February, so I've been here 5 months or so.
And how are you liking it?
Having a blast. How could I not? I work in a spaceship factory. You know, I've had an incredibly fortunate career. I've gotten to work on projects I really believe in. Great teams, great groups of people, but the chance to go join Virgin Galactic and you know, be part of the doers that are actually bringing people to go, like I so desperately want to do, like my wife wants to do, like so many of my friends want to do, was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up, and I'm having a blast.
And what are your duties in the company?
I have, my title is Vice President for Special Projects, which is one of these sort of deliciously vague titles that can mean whatever it needs to mean at any given point in time, which is I'm having a lot of fun with. You know, I do a little bit of everything. I'm fix it wherever it needs fixing, but broadly speaking, the company as a whole, and between Virgin Galactic and one of our sister companies, the Spaceship Company, which is a joint venture that we established with Scaled Composites to mass produce vehicles, we have something like 100 employees jointly between the two. And of those, I'd say 99 of them have this laser-like focus on getting our vehicles into commercial service as quickly as safely possible. And I'm kind of that one other guy who gets to dream a little bit about what comes next. So, as well as about maybe some additional uses for the vehicles that we've already built. How, instead of just addressing the tourism market, which is our core business and we think is a lucrative one and an important one, but we also recognize that those vehicles have scientific importance and they have importance potentially for government astronauts. So how do we make sure that we address those markets as well?
And what were you doing just prior to?
Can
we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Before joining Virgin Galactic, I spent just under 6 years at the XPRIZE Foundation, which was just a wonderful place to work, really inspiring. I had been a volunteer in the days of the first XPRIZE, kind of from a distance doing some writing for the website and things like that. And not too long after that first prize was won, that organization, as many of your viewers may know, was essentially created as a one-off, just to run that one prize. And it was in the waning days of that prize that the board members really came to Peter Diamandis, the founder, and said, "It's working, why are you stopping?" And so I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, where Peter hired me and said, "Well, we want to keep going. We don't know what comes next. Why don't you take a look at that for us?" So came on board and developed a bunch of prize concepts, and not all of them panned out, but the ones that did were pretty amazing. I got to work on a $2 million prize program that XPRIZE ran for NASA called the Northrop Grumman Lunar Lander X Challenge, which was this vertical takeoff, vertical landing rocketry competition, just a wonderful project. And then at the end of my tenure there, spent a few years running the $30 million Google Lunar X Prize.